Climbing the corporate ladder, building a huge successful business, investing and getting returns like Warren Buffett. Why do we actually do it? Answer: money. More money. But let's take a step back. What does money create? It creates time, mobility, and options. The new rich is a group of people who have realized that living like a millionaire doesn't require that one is a millionaire. They've also realized that you can live like a millionaire without working your ass off until age 65, building a Fortune 500 company, or consuming millions of annual reports. In the 4-Hour Workweek, a book written by the entrepreneur Tim Ferriss, we shall learn how the new rich managed to do this. At the end of this video, you'll be able to fill in these blanks. Let's dive in. Takeaway number 1. The step-by-step process of joining the new rich. Create time, mobility, and options without having an abundance of money? Sounds like a great deal, am I right? That's why the strategy to get there is abbreviated DEAL. Deal. Life is negotiable. Just because everyone else follows the 9-to-5 dogma doesn't mean that you have to do it too. I hate the "but what if everyone else does so too" argument. Don't worry. Everyone won't be willing to do this, but hopefully you will. Follow this and you'll be ready to join the new rich in no time. D stands for definition. First and foremost, we must redefine the goal of the game that we've been fooled to play for so long. Money in itself is not the end goal. Relative income trumps absolute income once certain essentials are met. More on this in takeaway number 2. E is for elimination. Being busy 24/7 is prompted as ambitious, but Tim Ferriss disagrees. Being busy all the time is lazy. Lazy thinking. To become truly productive, which is essential to have a 4-hour workweek, you must eliminate unimportant activities, which we'll discuss in takeaway number 3. A is for automation. Outsource, outsource, outsource. No more wasting your time with repetitive tasks. If you estimate your hourly to be, say, $20, it probably makes a lot of sense to have someone else do it for $7 an hour. More on this in takeaway number 4. L is for liberation. Skiing is better in Italy. Surfing is better in Costa Rica. Diving is better in Australia. And meatballs definitely taste better in Sweden. Why tie yourself down to a single location? In takeaway number 5, I'll discuss some of the tips that Tim Ferriss gives for the final piece of the puzzle: mobility. Takeaway number 2. Relative income trumps absolute income. Okay, so D is for definition, and it's all about redefining how we think about money. Who is richer, in your opinion? A. The investment banker with an annual salary of $500,000, who works 80 hours a week. Or B. The e-commerce entrepreneur with his whole business on autopilot, who earns $40,000 per year with a 4-hour workweek. Tim Ferriss talks about something he calls a freedom multiplier, consisting of 4 variables. Depending on how many of them that you can control, the practical value of your money multiplies. They are what you do, when you do it, where you do it, and whom you do it with. An investment banker is typically very restricted in these regards. which is why the e-commerce entrepreneur may be richer when we consider what money can do for this person. And here, we shall introduce a very important concept. Relative income trumps absolute income. Once you have a cash flow that's enough to support your desired lifestyle. By the way, for great inspiration on a millionaire lifestyle, check out my summary of Dan Lock's FU Money. Sure, the investment banker beats the e-commerce entrepreneur in absolute income. He earns $460,000 more per year. But is this a bit excessive? The e-commerce entrepreneur beats the investment banker once time is introduced to the equation, as his relative income is $200 per hour versus $120 for the banker. The investment banker may be able to stack up that $500,000 salary for an early retirement, but he should question himself on why he wants to do so that he can move to a nice and warm paradise island and just go surfing all day? Well, the e-commerce entrepreneur can live that lifestyle already. He doesn't have to wait until retirement to do so. And there's every reason not to save it all till the end. Takeaway number 3. How to be more productive. What's the difference between being effective and being efficient? Being effective is about doing the right things. Being efficient is about doing things right. To join the new rich and reach a 4-hour workweek, we must focus on the former. Remember this: doing something unimportant well does not make it important. It's time to eliminate the activities that are not getting us where we want. There are 2 great principles to keep in mind here: Pareto's law and Parkinson's law. Pareto's law states that 80% of the effects comes from 20% of the causes. 80% of company profits comes from 20% of the customers. 80% of results comes from 20% of effort and time. 80% of consequences stems from 20% of the problems, etc. Our mental energy must focus on these 20%. For example, keep the top 20% customers happy and put the remaining 80% on autopilot. Fire their asses if they complain. In general, keep updating priorities and focus each day on 1 to 2 big tasks. Small bad things will happen when you start to ignore certain tasks, but this is necessary to get the big things done. Parkinson's law states that a task will grow in perceived importance and complexity in proportion to how much time that is allowed for its completion. Jeez, I've got to become better at this myself. I've had days when I've built a whole website in one day, but I've also had days when I search for flight tickets for a whole day, without even booking one. It's all about deadlines. To become as productive as possible, cultivate the habit of setting short ones, both for yourself and for others. 24 to 72 hours is preferred, and if the task seems too big for that, chunk it down. This is closely related to the student syndrome, by the way. Smash the like button if you've experienced this. Partly so that I don't feel alone, but mostly for the YouTube algorithm. Takeaway number 4. Become the ghost in the machine. What's the greatest obstacle towards management-free money? Answer: yourself. No matter if you're an employee or an entrepreneur, to join the new rich, you must learn how to define and delegate tasks. Replace and multiply yourself. Outsource tasks either to machines and software or to people to have them automated from your perspective. Elimination precedes automation, because just like doing something unimportant well does not make it important, outsourcing something unimportant does not make it important either. But they also go somewhat hand in hand. By paying someone else to do an activity for you, you can quickly determine if it's something that should be done or not. Would you pay someone $7 an hour to manage customers that you only profit $5 an hour from? Of course not. And it's even crazier for you to handle these customers yourself, as you probably value your own time much more than $7 an hour. These customers should be eliminated, not outsourced. Tim Ferriss talks about geographic arbitraging. It's all about earning in dollars, living on pesos, and compensating in rupees. Get a virtual assistant from, for instance, Fiverr or Upwork, for time-consuming and repetitive tasks. And remember the following. Focus on cost per task completed and not cost per hour. Test. You don't know how well you will work with anyone before you try it. Set short deadlines. One task at a time. Apply it, try it, and hopefully you can multiply yourself down the line, making you the ghost in the machinery. Takeaway number 5. Create unrestricted mobility. Yes, even as an employee. For the entrepreneur, unrestricted mobility follows from eliminating and automating, if you start with the right business. An example of such a business is an internet-based one, and I'll have to toot my own horn again and recommend my summary of FU Money, where I discuss the 7 golden rules to internet riches. For the employee, however, it's a bit different. You can't just tell the boss that from now on you'll be working from the beaches in Rio de Janeiro. No. Instead, you should follow these 5 steps to gradually allow yourself to pull a disappearing act from the office. Step 1. Increase investment. Look for courses and additional training available for employees. You want the company to invest as much as possible in you, because no one understands sunk costs. Step 2. Show increased output. Call in sick and work off-site for a day or 2. Make this period ultra productive. Step 3. Quantify company benefits. Showcase just how productive you've been during these days to your boss. Emphasize the company benefits that this has. Step 4. Suggest a revocable trial. Ask the boss for a revocable trial of working remote for 2 weeks, 2 days per week. Your fallback plan is 1 day per week if this request is denied. Again, make these days the most productive ever. Step 5. Expand time spent remotely. After a successful trial, gradually increase time spent outside the office in additional trial periods until you don't have to be in the office at all. Sweet! And that's it for Tim Ferriss' 4-hour workweek. Let's repeat the key takeaways again. Joining the new rich is a 4-step process with the abbreviation DEAL. Relative income beats absolute income once you have enough cash flow to support your dreams. Be more productive by prioritizing tasks and setting short deadlines. Remember Pareto's and Parkinson's law. Outsource tasks to multiply yourself and become the ghost in the machine. Meatballs taste better in Sweden. Create unrestricted mobility for yourself so that you can experience everything that the world has to offer.